I have a problem with modern content right now, and it's not what you may think. No, it's not the fact that everyone is copying every viral trend or the egregious clickbait. It's the fact that every video looks and feels the same. To be fair, there's a literal science to capturing an audience's attention. When we're strictly speaking about social media growth, I don't blame anyone for sticking to the standard recipe. Even I rely on that perfect modern look for my day-to-day videos, because quite frankly, they work. Every once in a while, I need to experiment and create visuals that make people feel something. Lately, the experimentation has led me to vintage glass. Now, currently, my camera is using the Helios 44-2 lens, which has been modified by a company called BTF Lenses. It has quickly become one of my absolute favorite lenses to use for my personal projects. Now, these lenses are not perfect by any means, and they have their specific use cases, which I'll get into. But first you need to understand the differences between modern glass and vintage glass. If we're talking about pure center sharpness, both the modern and the vintage glass actually look great. The real magic is the character of the image. Look at the background behind me. A modern lens gives you clean spherical orbs of light, but this modified Helios introduces a distinct cat eye oval bokeh. This happens because these have been modded to mimic anamorphic cinema lenses. On top of that, the Helios gives you a nice dirty, gritty feel to the image, which modern glass try to stay far away from. You also get this beautiful dreamlike distortion known as the Swirly Bokeh. You might recognize this visual texture from a movie called The Batman. That movie inspired me to hunt these down because the filmmakers used the Helios DNA to craft their image of a moody, gritty atmosphere of Gotham. Granted, the studio had their glass custom engineered, so replicating their image would be very difficult on my own. However, I am quite satisfied with the result I'm producing right now. Now, don't get me wrong, modern lenses still have their place. In my professional line of work, having reliable, fast autofocus is a huge quality of life feature. It allows me to focus on my framing and composition as an active camera operator. With vintage glass, you are stripped away of that safety net. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Using manual focus encourages you to be intentional with your shots. I absolutely love how the light interacts with these old glass. It catches highlights beautifully, throwing these organic natural lens flares that you can't replicate in editing. Thanks to BTF lenses, this setup is one of my personal favorites to use. My modern lenses will always be my typical workhorse lens, but Helios will always sit on my rotation whenever I want to create actual art. At the end of the day, anyone can buy a new camera, turn on autofocus, and get a clean picture, but that doesn't make anyone feel anything. If you want your work to have a little bit of soul, you have to embrace the imperfections. I'm not sponsored, but check out BTF lenses for your own set of vintage glass. If you made it to the end of this video, please consider subscribing. I know I make a lot of action scenes, but every once in a while, I do like to talk about filmmaking and how to create your own cinematic scenes. I do have more coming up, so please keep in touch, and I'll see you guys later.